You're listening to The Business Focused Photographer. If you're ready to transform your photography business into a thriving career, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll discuss fun and innovative ways to boost your creativity and income. Sound good? Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am here with my friend, Leah O'Connell. Leah, if you aren't familiar, is a lifestyle family photographer. She's based in Charlottesville, Virginia. She's photographed families everywhere from mall studios, which is so cute and funny,
That's a fun
to
one.
Hawaii
Yeah.
Beach. Yeah, for nearly 20 years, which doesn't seem possible if anybody can see your skin and like your hair. Like, I don't think that. So that's impressive. But Leah is most passionate about making images of families within the comfort of their own home, which I can relate to. She leans on her background in education, and Leah also hosts a podcast, the Photo Fuel podcast, and a retreat by the same name, right? Um, and she mentors other photographers to discover clarity and confidence in their work. And she and her entrepreneur husband, well, exciting, living on the edge over there, live with their 3 young kids in constant pursuit of big dreams and simple joys. Wow, what a fantastic intro.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you were doing this long enough. There's a lot to sprinkle in there. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you hit it all though. But so thanks for coming on, Leah.
Thanks for having me.
So for any listeners who are hearing you for the first time, can you introduce yourself beyond what I just said and tell us a little bit more about your photography business today?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. I know we have connected through multiple touch points, but I don't think we've ever really gotten to have a conversation one-on-one. So this is
No.
cool.
Yeah, agree.
um,
Agree.
yeah, it's cool to kind of dig deeper with people that way. Yeah, as you mentioned, almost 20 years, maybe if not 20 years this year, I think. I started photographing when I was 16 in mall studios. It was like my first job. It was all I ever really cared to do. I was like a hostess in a restaurant for 2 days, and I was like, please get me out of here somewhere where I can wear my nose ring. And they're not gonna I don't know. I was just like, this is gonna kill me. So I started photographing in mall studios, like picture people, Sears Portrait Studio, all through college and high school. I started like in summers, I would work in summer camps, photographing, campers and being like their media person. It was just like I was really obsessed with storytelling, even though I didn't know that's what it was yet. I just was like the idea of like seeing something amazing happening and being part of it, and then trying to pair visuals that would bring you back to that or like capture that feeling. That was like just a really exciting thing for me. So when it came time for college years, I was like, well, this is all I've ever want to do. So I started to pursue media arts and design. Um, I don't know if you want this is like a wild backstory of how
Yeah,
I
well,
got
then
into
yes. Then
photography.
yes. Of course.
It's
Absolutely.
not how my business is now, but like looking back, it is kind of a weird intro into the like the business of photography. Because like I said, the art was always there. I was always interested, but the business part was kind of like a curveball. Okay. So I kept getting the door slammed in my face, essentially. Like I was pursuing media arts and design and trying to apply to this like unit within my college semester after semester. 4 semesters in a row, I got rejected, even though I had like all of the criteria, the essays, the grades, the everything. It was just like, nope, 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 this path is not for you. So I pivoted and decided I would bring my creativity into the classroom. Was really excited to be a middle school English teacher. And my senior year of college, I met what is now my future husband. And we moved right after graduation together after we got married across the country to Hawaii, which I was not expecting, that curveball.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
that's where he was stationed in the Navy. And another thing I didn't expect is that we would move right in the dead of the summer. So I just had this like flashy new master's degree in education, and I was ready to teach. But here I was, this like 22-year-old, like never stepped foot on the island, could not get a teaching job. And I was like, well, now there's like another door shut in my face, or I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. And the cool thing about being in that position is like when you're like young and kind of carefree, we didn't really have a lot of responsibilities. We were able to ask ourselves, I was able to ask myself the question, like, if I could do anything, what would it be? And like the answer immediately was like, well, I would be a photographer, even though I didn't know that that was like a real job. I don't know about, did you even like family photography, especially? It was just like, this isn't
Yeah,
something
Leah,
that
you're
people
inside of
do.
my head right now.
Yeah.
Like, wait till I tell you.
Yeah.
This is wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, that's not a real job. I could maybe be a wedding photographer. Maybe I'll shoot on the side. Like once I can be like, I'll be a teacher, I'll shoot on the side. But like when I had the room, I was like, well, photography, that's what I want to do. So like the very next day I went out and we bought a camera, like a professional DSLR fancy camera. And I was like, well, now my whole goal is like just to have clients pay me enough to pay off this camera. And that was like the whole dream at that point, was just to figure it out enough. But
Pay for the
yeah, but like the
Yeah.
wildest part is that like a week later, after I bought this camera, I like made a clip art logo and like ordered my business cards on Vistaprint and like was like, I'm in business now. I have a Facebook
Yes.
page and that's it.
Hey, that's what it was, though.
Yeah, yeah. But we went for a hike, and at the top of the mountain, I see this woman and her daughter, and they are just taking pictures together at the top of the mountain. She asked me to take a picture of her with her phone. So I do, and we start chit-chatting. And she notices I have my like nice camera with me. So we start talking about that. I say, oh, I'm getting ready to start a photography business. I'm just learning a lot right now. Like, if you want, I can take a picture of you with this. Remember, circa like 2012, like
Yeah.
phone cameras were not that great. So that
No.
was like my real win, is like my nice camera.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of her with that, and I was like, I'll email it to you. And she was very humble up to this point, this like random stranger on top of a mountain, until I was like, I'll send you this photo. And she was like, you know what? Actually, I am a professional wedding photographer. And if you're ever interested, I'd love to meet you for coffee and show you a little bit more about what I do. And I think I like had to pick my jaw up off the ground because I was like,
Goodness.
wait, this door is opening for me? What?
Yeah.
And it really was that, because from that point on, it was like just a series of saying yes. She introduced me to another person who was a family photographer and event photographer, and I started shadowing both of them, second shooting for them, doing stuff behind the scenes with them. And it just completely opened my eyes to the fact that like this is a job that these human beings, these real people I can see and touch and talk to, are supporting their families and living their creative dream, and like, let's do it. Like I never
Yeah.
look back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, that's also uncommon that she was so open to sharing with you and like helping and like opening the door for you, like you said. And that expedites things so much for people
Being in the
when
room,
you're
man.
just reach your hand out,
Yeah.
pull another person in and like help them skip over all of the stumbling that most of us have to do to get where. So what an incredible, that is so
Yeah.
cool. What a
Yeah.
great, that is a good backstory. So I got a bunch of degrees to teach, had like a teaching job, and then my husband got a job offer that required us to move back to his hometown where I was an
It's like the
ESL
same.
teacher.
Yeah.
Same. And it
Yeah.
was like we are in white bread like USA, so there's no ESL jobs here. And I had to figure out, so it was the same thing. I'm like, well, what do I want to be when I grow up after I
Yeah.
have this college debt? And
Yeah.
it's like, I'll just be a photographer. But like what also thinking like wedding photographer was the only way to get paid, is thank goodness it's not. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't have that. I was never on a mountaintop with like a Jasmine Star. Never, I'm like
Yeah.
imagining you're gonna say it was Jasmine Star, but
No, it wasn't. But you know what's funny is that you say like how generous of her, and really that's what it was,
yeah,
because like this
yeah,
woman was not like ho humming around. Like she was also a professional makeup artist for like a famous television show on the island. She has three
cool.
children of her own. She was like the first wedding that I shot with her. I only ever like second shot 3 weddings in my entire career before I was like, weddings aren't for
Nice.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
But I shot this wedding, and there was like a professional like vocalist there. There was like thousands of people. There was like, I mean, it's just enormous weddings. Like this
yeah,
woman was not like, I mean, she was so generous with her time. And like just information and just being like that she had the margin to offer that to a stranger. It's like half of the
Yes.
reason why I went into education to begin with. Like when you think about scaling or like what you want to do as your career expands, to me education wasn't just like a, well, I know enough to share now. It was like I have to pay it forward because of the generosity that lifted me out of like having no idea what I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like okay, I feel like that lack of scarcity is a signal of her success. Like anybody who
Yeah.
has stable success is no longer super competitive or like intimidated about helping others, but you normally
Hmm.
don't have the time to do what she must have. So really, that
Yeah.
truly generous. That is.
Yeah. It's very
Well,
cool.
today, good. That is a great backstory. Thank you for sharing it. We're going to we're going to be focusing on like simplification, sustainability, and systems, um, and within business. And as you said, like you had the art down, the business piece doesn't usually go hand in hand with that. But you clearly have excelled because you're like a business coach. So you do, and you can't get this far without really nailing down the business piece as much as the art, if not more. But what in particular about the simplicity and systemization, or what has made that, or what led those things to become so important to you in business?
Essentialism.
Yeah.
An absolute inability to make it complicated because it is, I feel like, easier to make something complicated than it is to simplify it. Especially early on, we're learning so much that it's add this, add that, add this, add that. And then all of a sudden you look around and you're like, but I don't know how to hold it all. And there's like too many offers and too many, like it doesn't make sense together and it's too confusing and I don't have any systems for these things. And I think because I had a story in which I started my business before I had kids, and I can say that loosely because I feel like before I had kids, I wasn't actually taking it super seriously. Like it was my job and I was taking it seriously, but my productivity, and probably anyone who has children would say this as well, like skyrocketed whenever I had less time. I got more done. So I also like, I just began to see the writing on the wall. Like as I was growing my family and growing my business at the same time, it like, I just found like a need to not be in that position where I was like stuck and lost. Like I had a fear of being like in a place where I built something that I didn't mean to build. So the whole way I've just like tried to really focus on like the tension before it became a problem.
Yeah.
And so like
Yeah.
as I did that, like it's easier to simplify kind of as you go. I started out doing like IPS and trying to like push that forward and lots of like high touch things that just as I grew, I became less important to me.
Yeah.
Um and as I found my style too, like these things kind of grow. It's interesting how like growing or scaling, quote unquote, like doesn't always mean it for me and in my experience it has meant actually like taking things away and just making them better than like that refinement. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Yeah.
It makes all the sense, and I do a thing where I project my own situation onto whatever, and it feels so topical to me right now
Mm.
because this is precisely what I've done within my offer suite, where I've really culled it, and it's like
Mhm.
simplify it, and I've done a lot of work to get to a place where I feel ready to do that, but where I have like 3 main offers right now between, like, a family session, a Fresh 48, or an in-home newborn session,
Mhm.
and, like, not talking about anything else even though those things are operating behind the scenes. So, when you talk about simplicity, are you talking mostly about your offer suite and what's included, or are you talking in a broader sense about, like, the process and the systems running behind the scenes so that you don't What does it mean to you?
I think
Sorry.
it's both. Yeah, it's both. Like I have a signature session, and that is like that's if you work with me, this is the best of the best. This is what you can get. I do a 30-minute session. That is at you can only do it at one location. And it's like so I have these two things that are like the only way. Like this is what you're coming to me for. So then I can really like hone in on being making that the very best and talking about it, and it's not, there's zero confusion around like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
is there going to be a sale, is there going to be a special, is there going to be a mini, is there, like, I don't do any of it, and I just go really really all in on the thing that I know that the way that I know I can serve people best. And I mean, I do school photography as well, which I feel like is a nice buffer for like the underground of that like entry for clients. And it also allows me the space to be able to like not have to book on like sessions on top of each other and lots of different things and lots of special offers to like get that extra cash inflow in off seasons or whatever. Like I don't feel the tension or the like need for that stuff because the schools are sort of like my underground base layer.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, if you're talking about offer suite, like that's the whole game for me.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
because of that, then like the second piece that you said, like the systems for that are very streamlined now. Like I've been able to make it a very collaborative experience for clients. Like I don't have a lot of like, well, if this happens then that happens, or here's the add-on, or here's the um like part 2 of the charge or whatever. Like it's all inclusive. It's like everything is just very
Yeah.
transparent and clear, which
Yeah.
feels good for me, and it seems to be working for my ideal client as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's almost impossible to talk about a well-refined and intentional offer suite without understanding who your ideal client was.
Mhm.
So, which came first for you, the offer suite that just attracted the ideal client, or figuring out who they were and then building it to accommodate?
Yeah, that's it's like I think we want to put an order to it. I want to put an order to it, but I
Yeah.
can't say for sure. I think that they grew in tandem because there was a long time that I did sort of like a session fee buy the collection later type of model,
Yeah.
that also worked really well for people. But it was like as I learned by doing, like many things, like
Right.
as I learned by doing, like I see like, oh, people aren't really like are taking a long time to purchase their collection. Or they have a lot of questions about their collection, or
Yeah.
they like are just going straight to the buy all the digitals option anyways. So like, why am I spending all this time like tinkering with the bottom packages and opening them and accessibility and wondering about watermarks and doing like, just be open. Like, and then it was just like, it got to a point where I was like, I'm done with that. And like, let's just like I had to build the clients who trusted me first. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I had to I had to have a little bit of that exploration and build the clientele and reputation to be able to be like, no, we're just going to charge up front now,
Yeah.
and for it to work. Like, I think that's an important piece.
Again, something else that I did too, as like finding my footing, getting into a higher price point, was I did the session fee digitals. A lot of it was for me. I felt it was a lot easier for me to say this lower price as a session fee as like an entry
Mhm.
point, and then no pressure to deliver on this higher price package. If I didn't produce 30 photos they loved, they could buy the smallest package. And then but of course, after enough time where I'm like, everybody's just buying the top digital package. Like, so there's number one, the evidence that I needed that people will pay that high price, all
Mhm.
inclusive in that. Yeah, I don't need to split it up and make it complicated. And then I think too, I wonder if you had the same thing where enough people, I think it was two, and two was enough during October, like where I could have booked their session date multiple times, didn't purchase. And
Mm.
they were the only people not to do it, but it was enough for me to like, screw this. Like, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, I think like the bottom line, like you're saying, is like time, exploration, and then evidence.
Yeah, and I think you come to a point too where it's like I I think like the price point forced me to rise to the occasion. Like I when I looked in the mirror and realized like I when I thought about what I was doing, I was like I don't want to be like I say I don't want to rely on the clients to tell me what to do. I want to be setting the tone and setting the vision. But my pricing is set in a way that like my value or my confidence is a result of what they purchase after it's done instead of me saying like I know I'm going to give you an amazing experience, an amazing product, an amazing memory and leading with that. Like I it the cost up front required me to show up bigger from the start. And I think that there was like a point where like when it switched and you're just like, I'll show up. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like, that's fine. No pressure. Like, I
Right.
want the pressure. I want to be like, this matters. There is a whole lot on the table and I'm going to show up at my absolute best. That's what a high price offer energy should be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it made me a better artist and a better business owner when I like acted first instead of waiting for the proof to come
Right.
almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of the mindset work that goes into adopting a higher price point and then letting that be part of your brand identity. And then, yeah, how are you showing up for your sessions, emotionally and physically, um, in a way that reflects that higher price point? And yeah, I think you're right about the pressure. But obviously, when I had that mindset, my I was not like I was not evolved enough yet
Sure.
to
And like I
be
just said,
thrilled
I
with
was,
that pressure.
yeah,
Yeah.
same. I mean, and I had to go through that like wiggle room too. I mean, it's the same. I think like I could have always stayed there and
Right?
been like,
Or
like it took a purposeful like decision to be like I'm going to leap and then rise to the occasion for it to for it to work, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Okay, and you also teach about sustainability in your business. Do you feel like the simplicity lends itself to what makes the business sustainable?
I mean, I think so because when things feel like you can handle them, you want to keep handling them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, if it feels like you're constantly juggling too much, it's going to be really easy to just be like, "Ugh, I can't. Ooh, never mind."
Right,
I'm
just
like
become
all
avoidant.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think like even it there's a lot of untangling that needs to be done and it's a hard thing to do on your own, which is why I feel like it, we need proof that if we take it easy a little bit and get back to our roots and get back to like listening to ourselves and our ideas and what we feel like is actually a smart move for our business or our life or whatever it might be, then that will go well for us. And there's no real proof because every business and every situation is different, which is
Right.
why like I think community and like walking with people through that, why I feel so excited about my retreat situation is because like every single person who comes is coming from a different part of the country or from a different like type of business. And each of those people can see like, oh, that's working for her and this is working for that person. So if I do what works for me, there is evidence that that can be a thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think simplifying doesn't mean like making it like a specific way or like refining it to like look a certain model or formula. It just means like taking in the big picture and like asking yourself what is allowed to stay here and what is
Yeah.
not welcome anymore.
Well, I think what's simultaneously great and challenging is that a business can work in so many different ways in our industry so that it's easy to get distracted by what everybody else is doing and implement what's working for them and like make some sort of Frankenstein version of
Yeah.
what everybody else is doing, which in a way is okay. But also to listen, it's then easy to not be listening to yourself and paying
Yeah.
attention to what really
Yeah.
actually does. It has to be, at least for me, it sounds like the same for you. It has to be an organic system. These things have to be feel natural. We can't be trying to fit a square peg into a round hole to make somebody else's model work for us just because it works for them.
Well, inspiration is a great thing. I mean, the people that we know through community, through Facebook groups, through in person things, like whatever it might be, like we can take all that in and see what people are doing, but it's like a mind game of deciding, like, I can see that and say, good for you, and
Yeah.
not for me, and feel
Yeah.
actually really proud of that.
Yeah.
Um, which I felt like was hard for a long time for me
Takes discipline. It
to be
absolutely
like,
takes
yeah,
discipline.
and that's like confidence in time too, is like when you feel like you're doing something that you like can stand behind and talk about and, like say wholeheartedly, then you're not swayed as easily. You can say like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And like, "That's really cool that you're doing that." Or like, "I love her style." And
Right.
but not think that like I need to now do that, you know?
It that is still so hard for me,
Mm.
and I need to use my idea garage, which is, like, when I get these big ideas, I need, like,
I
park
love
it in
that
my
name.
idea garage and, like, then think about it later, revisit it later.
Yeah.
Um, so what are some ways that you've coached a lot of photographers and you've seen the inside of other photographers' businesses? What are the more common ways that you see photographers overcomplicating their businesses?
Um, let's see. Let me try to think of a few like specific ones. Um, I think like offer dumping is a big one.
Yeah.
Um, like I see a lot of like, well, things are slow right now, so I'm gonna like create a new thing or like try a new offer or try a new price point or whatever instead of like which would and a lot of times that's like a very small slice of the main offer, right? Which in theory you're like, it's just got to get something in the door. But if you took all of the energy and time that you spent creating that new offer and that new marketing and those new systems set up to make it run smoothly, like, and you just sold one of your regular thing,
Yeah.
it would, like if you just took all of that and put it into the main thing, like, wouldn't that be nice, and I think like that nervous energy of like, well, this isn't working, gotta try this. This isn't working, gotta try this. It just it overcomplicates things a lot. So I see that, and again, that's like one of the reasons why I really love my school photography, like undertow, is because it like kind of forces me to keep back from that nervous energy. And anytime I'm like, oh, should I like create a Mother's Day offer or whatever, I'm just like, no, the undercurrent's there. It's okay. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one for sure. Overcomplicating, I would say like there's a lot of talk, rightfully so, about client experience and big fan here for it. But
Right.
I do think a lot of that talk over the years has gotten kind of messy where photographers think that we have to like put on a song and dance circus show to be like a legit business owner. And to me, that just is like another, like, I think the confidence, like the best confidence you can have and the best client experience you can have is just delivering like a banging product, like
Yeah.
just doing your actual job really freaking well.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, we want to love people well and communicate, timely, and all of those things matter so much. But I do see people overcomplicating the client experience with like trinkets and gifts and, all kinds of stuff where it's like, if it makes sense, again, for your business and for your brand, sure, but like make it thoughtful. Don't just do it because you feel like you have to.
It's I call this the white glove that nobody asked for. There's like
Yeah.
there is
I just want
this
my pictures, please. Like I
it's
don't. Yeah.
exactly, and it's, maybe right, if you're saying if it makes sense for your business model, if that is like if you are one of and not to diminish IPS photographers, but they are becoming a minority, so yeah, sure, if like that is your if you're one of the IPS photographers, yeah, okay, it that your client is looking for something that's super high touch, but like we don't need to inject all of these touch points and like the trinkets and all of that, like if that doesn't make sense for a business and if like again understanding who your ideal client is so
Mhm.
important because
Yeah.
you won't waste time and money on this building a client experience for them that doesn't matter. Like I if I think about myself as a photography client, like I really just want a good experience while taking the photos
Mhm.
and then good photos delivered in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
do think the very best marketing, the very best client experience you can have is what you just said, like,
yeah,
the art, like,
yeah,
taking that part really seriously and getting so good at it that there's no competition. Like, that is
right.
your best asset.
Yeah, for me, client experience should be focused on people skills, like actually making people feel good when you're around
Mhm.
them, when you're photographing them, when they're in a vulnerable place, right? And your communication, it doesn't need to be this, I have this concierge and we're gonna walk in. Here's the
What
brochure. Like we know what's gonna happen. Like we have an idea.
what's like, do you have anything that you add in your client experience that you just feel like this is a nice touch point that's like maybe extra, but
I used to have a client closet that I just destashed because again, it doesn't align because I used to do more motherhood sessions. I don't do them at
oh,
all anymore
yeah.
because I lost a hair and makeup artist and I haven't found one that doesn't make
Yeah.
people look like drag queens. But so I don't do them anymore. It's less in alignment with what my clients are looking for. So that used to feel like a nice, but then it was like, man, I got to go to my studio. Then we got to meet up and make sure this fits. I'm like, this is the opposite of my brand. Like this
Mm,
whole, so now I will go back and forth with clients who are having like trouble with their wardrobe and like figuring out, and will give them all the time and attention leading up to the session. I'm cool about clients having my cell phone and texting me, and like I've never had
mhm.
anybody abuse it that way. And I'm cool about if somebody's like, "Oh, my husband wishes he took off his Fitbit. Could you Photoshop it out?" Yeah, I don't mind. I don't. So like that sort of thing is like, that's I guess what makes what I focus on. But that's just because it's what doesn't pain me, and it's what my
Mhm.
clients want. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to look different for everybody. But I think you obviously came on the scene the same time as me if you started at IPS because there was a
Mhm.
lot
Yeah,
of
I think
pressure to
so,
do
yeah.
IPS.
It was
And
that was the only way. It was like,
it
"That's the
was the
only way
only
you can
way.
make money.
And you
Get
were a
on
villain.
board. We're going shopping."
If you
This
were if
is
you were burning those photos to a
yeah.
CD, god damn
Oh,
it, you were like,
hell
you're
yeah.
killing the industry. So I feel like we both have like we're meshed with this messaging about what needs to be as a part of a high-end photographer. And I think that, you know, bit by bit that those ideas are being turned on their head. And it's like, no, it's really just about, like you're saying, doing what you say you're gonna do, like following through, and like doing an incredible job in the places that really matter that are going to make your clients return. It's not nobody's gonna be like, well, Leah sent me a keychain with a
Therefore, I
picture
am
on
loyal
it, and
forever.
like I am never
Yeah.
going with anybody. No, it's been like Leah was
Yeah.
so nice and like she made us all comfortable. She's so good with my kids, and the pictures were incredible, and we already booked her for next year. Like that's really
Mhm.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
At least I think for my clients and probably yours. Um, yeah, I think that's probably an overcomplication I see a lot too. And I see it more with newer photographers who are finding their footing and getting all the different messages from like different educators. And so,
For sure. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot out there. And that client closet example is like a really good one of like that unraveling because like that was really trendy for a long time. And it still can work for a lot of people, especially if you have like a certain type of look
but
to your work. But
right.
yeah.
But trendy is a good word to use there because like so many of the dresses I had and I spent good money on were those honey, do you remember the honey punch lace overlay rompers? They were everything for a minute. And so they were like a
Never
romper.
have I ever done a client closet. So no, I have
But do you
no
remember this? They were like a super popular, like like lace overlay, either in mustard or maroon or white, and deep V, just beautiful. I had several of those. Those are in style anymore. Nobody wants to wear those. With the romper riding up your butt crack, and then like no, like, and then it still is an appeal. I just had one of my clients who's I'm photographing on Friday ask me if I had something in my client closet for him. Like, sold it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
But
But yeah, it does
it's
unravel.
interesting to like think about the flip side too, about the market is also, I feel like, embracing this concept of simplicity right now. Like like we hit a boiling point, I think, in the
Yes.
last couple of years. Just like, so we work with parents, like that's our main clientele. And so we're also considering like they are embracing this like more raw kind of appeal, or a simplistic like approach. Like a lot of parents are over the overdone, like they don't want the hair and makeup. I mean, and it is hard to say like, yes, of course there is a market for that. So like I
Right.
don't want to,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
in my world, like in my
Same.
clientele, like that is what I have kind of, I'm seeing more and more people who are eager for less and less when it comes to just life in general.
Yeah.
So, I
Well, I
think
think
like
this
if
is
you need the proof, like that, like simplifying your offers or simplifying your client closet or simplifying your like is going to work for you, look outside of the photography industry and see what's happening in those conversations and let it influence
Mhm.
what your decisions are.
Absolutely. And this is like I do a lot of like I feel like this is the postmortem of lifestyle photography,
Hmm.
and where you went from film to digital, and then once we went from film to digital, it was so easy now to create a perfect photo, and like you could take as many as you wanted and just keep trying until you nailed it. And the autofocus and everything, and it's just like raw photos, and you could save things that were over or underexposed. It just became super easy, and I think that's when lifestyle photography came in, and we're like, we don't want it to look perfect anymore. We actually want it to look, but we have to be in control. And then lifestyle photography for a while, and I think like this is why somebody whose business is about the age that our businesses are as lifestyle family photographers are have the base that we have and had the traction early on that we had because it was so novel and it was so outside of the box and it was a new thing. And then it feels like at least the main style family photography where you look around, it's like everybody is clearly using the same posing guides, the same presets. They're
Yeah.
the same, they're dressing their clients in the same things. And I think the more veteran photographers are kind of pulling away from that and like, okay, we need to realign here. And it's the same target client. It's like the same archetypical client who's now also feeling the same way. I hope that where it's like, no, we want something a little simpler. We want something a little more raw. And I think it's like the pendulum will continue to swing. And it's like we went too far in this direction. Now we need to go back in this direction. Like it's it's fun. It makes it a little predictable too.
Well, it's also like another point in the bucket of like find out what you're excited about and dig in, because the world around you is going to, and what people want and what people are after and the trends and all that stuff is going to change a bazillion times. And of course, you need to find ways for those things to overlap, your vision and market to overlap, because you're running a business. But at the same time, like when you can really confidently be like, this is the vision, get on board, like then you're not swayed. Like I mean, like my work has gotten better, a lot better over the last 10 years, but like the approach, the message, same. Is this been
Yeah.
the same, like, so
Yeah.
that has, when you talk about sustainability, like get something that you're passionate about. And then like, just like we were talking about with the pricing, like if I was, constantly looking for clients to tell me what to make and how to format my business based on what they said, like I'd be all over the place. But
Yes.
when I can be in the driver's seat and be like, this is what we're doing, and if you love it, I'm your person, like then it just becomes so much easier to manage. And you, again, like that rocking boat of like, well, I don't know, how do I keep up, like it doesn't feel as like frivolous or as like flustering, I guess is the word maybe that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I
I feel
agree.
yeah.
And that attitude is the attitude of a higher priced actual luxury service provider. It's like, "Oh, no, this is I'm in control, and, like, this is how I've designed it, and we're gonna do it this way."
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
that
also, but let's not forget, like I started at 16 in the picture people in the mall photographing on film cameras with people in white t-shirts on a backdrop. I mean, like, so you got to form that vision. Like it has to start
Yes.
from somewhere.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
so yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg, poster too, where it's like so much happened before we got here, and it has to. I don't know a
Yeah.
shortcut, honestly, to getting to that place of authority, right? It's like
Well, sometimes people have such like intuitive like sense of style or vision. Like sometimes I've met photographers or coach people who I'm just you're trust your gut, like you are going for it. But like I didn't have that. Like it took me a really long time to figure out like
same here.
how to build a style, and that's learnable. It can be nature, but it's also nurture.
I think and I'm thankful that I am also that way because I think it was because I was just better at running the business, and the running the
Mm.
business part was ultimately more important. It gave me, um it helped me understand how important it was to figure out that artistic voice and, like, look for the common denominators in my work that got me excited and then figure out what were those and how to repeat it and all that, but without having the business
It's
acumen,
it's
it
10,000
wouldn't have
hours
happened.
too. Like
Yeah,
it's like you like to learn by doing. Like
yes,
so
you
yeah.
have to. You have to shoot a lot. You have to shoot a
Yeah.
lot, and you have to, like, take a lot of risks too and make the mistakes so that you know what you don't like and you know what you do like.
I mean, even in those like portrait studio days, I remember like when business wasn't even a concept that I was like, I don't know how people own their own businesses, or like as a photographer, I didn't know that was a thing. But whenever I was shooting in the studios, I was like, I would always have this thought of like, well, if I was in charge, I wouldn't do it like this. Or if I was in charge, like I would
Right?
never make people do this or that,
Mm,
or I would, and so it's just like those seeds that are planted. You learn so much by doing things the wrong way too,
yes.
that you can't
Yeah.
discount that part.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're a kid and you're like, "When I'm a mom, I'm"
Yeah.
and, like,
Good
most of those
luck.
things get flipped over, but, some of them stick, but
Yeah.
so you we talk about simplifying your offer suite, simplifying. What about, systems to help simplify things? Or do you rely much on systems?
I mean, I do. Yeah. I use HoneyBook as my CRM, and I feel like I could get on a real high horse. I even had like a little mini course for a while about um setting up workflows and like getting started with CRMs and how impactful that can be. Like starting before you feel like you're ready, because it's such a generator for marketing too, like to be able to contact your people and to be able to like so helpful. I do like along with the simplifying though, like simplifying my offers led to simplified automations, led to more simplified workflows in general. So and less clients to manage, so, I mean, like all of those things sort of, it's a delicate web. So
Yeah,
I would say like,
absolutely.
yeah, like the systems are really important and helpful to me in my business still, but like not in the way they were whenever I was doing 150 clients a year, it's different.
Right. Yeah, yeah. What sorry. So at HoneyBook, are there any other systems that you're using that are like software systems that are helping you to keep things simple in your brain?
Oh, Notion for sure.
Oh, what's Notion?
Oh, you don't know
Yeah,
about
I don't know
Notion.
Notion.
Okay, do you just use like a project management tool like Trello, Asana, anything like that?
No,
No.
I've never okay, because I always thought that my CRM was doing that. So talk
Mm.
to me.
Yeah, well, so I used Trello for a really long time. But Notion is like Trello 2.0, like 5.0. It's just like I use Notion to organize a lot of my education stuff. I have like a dashboard for every person that I work with where I can upload our calls and I give them action steps from like what we've talked about so
And
that
they can access
and
it
they
from
can
their end?
access it, and we kind of it's like a dual like
I like that.
dashboard that we can kind of like ask questions, and like I'll put like their audit videos in there for them. I use it for like my weekly planning. So like I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and like here are the things that need to get done, and I can sort them per day, like what we're doing which days, and um, helps me just like keep track of my brain. I do a lot of my like social media and content planning
Yeah.
through Notion as well, so it's not like right in the platform and it's going to get lost or deleted before you can save it type of thing. So like and then I can revisit that content and revise it for repurposing and things like that. So it's just like a massive hub of ideas. I do, what else do I do in there? I have like my duty day checklist. So like end of the month when I'm like, these are the things to keep up with my business every month, like bookkeeping stuff or just like tasks that I want to stay on top of. Like those checklists and stuff all live in Notion. So Notion, I probably wouldn't be able to do my business without.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
check that out. So for a photographer who's maybe earlier on, would you
Mhm.
recommend a CRM as the first system to adopt or something else?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think a CRM, it doesn't have to be super flashy. I've probably used 3 or 4 in the course of my career. I think I started with Tave. I used Sprout Studio for a really long time, which I still will promote. I loved Sprout Studio. Honeybook has been more robust for like different types of projects that I need, like because I'm doing education now or like consulting on different things. Like that helps me kind of branch out of just the photography contracts. But I mean, a good CRM is going to help you minimize the time that you have to spend thinking about what you have to do. So it, and also like the biggest pushback I think from a lot of people is like, well, I don't have enough clients to need a CRM yet. Um, but the point is for that to help you get more clients as well. Like we don't think
Yeah.
about the ways that the CRM can actually like help us stay on top of like that annual check-in with the newborn client or um like remembering what that person bought last year so you can create like if that person bought an album last year, like you can create a sample album on their next session for them and like upsell it really easily. Like there are just so many little things that you can do um to actually help per client make you money that like yeah, I mean like to get started on a CRM before it's crowded is actually like, do you know what I mean, like before you have
Well,
like a
yeah, I
ton
was
of
gonna say,
people.
if you wait until you're a busy established photographer, have fun setting up a CRM
Yeah,
with the
exactly,
time that
yeah.
you're gonna need to set it up because it is
Yeah,
it's
they get it running, tinker with it while you have a little bit more buffer time,
I
so
do
yeah.
wish that I had set mine up because I switched to HoneyBook in the fall and I am still developing my workflows and my templates. And it's like
Yeah.
it's a great system. It's a great piece of software, but it takes time and yeah, I used to have more time, but
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is why
so
people
that's a
hire
that's
HoneyBook
a
vendors.
hindsight thing for sure,
Yeah,
is, like, get
absolutely.
started with something, and a lot of the CRMs now, like, have conversion, like, tools where they'll help you move stuff over, so it's like, don't get stuck on, like, picking one or, like, making sure it's the
Mhm.
right one forever and ever, amen, because
Right.
like,
Right.
it's okay if you wanna move later, like, they make that easy now.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
so is there anything that you feel should always stay human and personal and not be automated through a system?
Planning for a
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even for a little bit of time had a studio manager who I was like, when I was doing more quantity and I was thinking I was going to scale that way, I had her come in and I was like, "Will you handle like like sending the prep stuff and like organizing it?" And so then all I have to do is just show up and take the pictures. And I had this like celebrity mindset about it, and I was like, "What? Who?" But I don't know anything about them now. And like I would show I did it for like 2 or 3 sessions and I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
this feels terrible." Like I just looking at their questionnaire like wasn't enough for me to like as I'm getting in the car, what are their names again? Okay, I'm going to show like that's not the energy that I'm bringing to this. So, yeah, so I just kind of took that one back and like was like, no, I need to be the one who's like communicating with them before a session. I don't do a planning phone call or anything. It's still
Right.
all mostly via, sometimes people I'll hop on the phone with for certain situations, but like mostly it's all done via email. But
Yeah.
still, I just feel like that
Well, that's a sanity
language
saver
is, yeah, it's just
in
so
writing.
important.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
HoneyBook generates, which is like a very unexpected thing that I love about HoneyBook now is they generate the pre-session details, and it talks about it, like, goes through all of your emails and communication, it, like, tells you everything you've discussed and planned, and, like, so and so's child is afraid of clowns or, like, whatever. It, like, tells
Gives
you
you the
those.
summary.
I
Mm.
love those summaries. I think that's a great
Yeah.
intersection of humanity and
Mhm.
okay. Before we go to the lightning round, if of course, if a photographer is listening and they wanted to reduce stress and run a better business, what would you tell them to do first? Is sorry, as far as like simplification goes.
If they wanna reduce their stress and run a better business. Um, hmm. Find a way to get excited again about what you're creating. Um, I think that, like, the the defeatism and the overwhelm comes when we forget the point, which is, like, the beauty of what we're making, and because it is a smaller part of the business as a whole, um, I think that, like, it's really easy to, like, fall away from that. So, uh, find creative outlets to, like, get your heart on fire again and make sure you're showing up to every session excited and not resentful. Like, and if that's a pricing thing, it's a pricing thing. But if it's a style type or a ideal client fit, like, that needs exploration. It needs, like, work to figure out, like, what's off here.
Yeah.
Um, because as soon as you can start showing up, like, both inside the back end of your business and to your sessions with, like, that lightning excitement, like, the stress part goes away. The marketing gets easier. The shoots themselves get easier. The, like, all of it becomes fun again.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It's something that I am currently because we're in that mastermind together. You've heard me
Yeah.
complaining, but that's something that I'm currently working on. It's just like refocusing and like and like all the noise, all the bullshit, all the stuff that's
Yeah.
with and
Yeah.
extra. Like, well, Leah, thanks. This has been very, very, very helpful.
Yeah.
You ready for some easy questions now?
Sure.
Or they might be harder. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I'm drinking it right
Nice. I'm
now.
again. I'm about to have
Yeah.
another cup. Paper planner or digital?
Um, Digital, but I'm a journaler tangibly. So I don't, like, plan or, like, calendar things by hand, but I have to have, like, written, like, my brain dump thoughts are all written.
Cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Airport person who arrives super duper early or cuts it close?
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'm early.
Me too. Me too. We asked Lindsay
Yeah.
about this. She's like berated
Yeah.
me over how early I wanted to be. At the airport. Automation or delegation?
Automation first. You don't want to delegate something that doesn't need to be done in the first place.
Not in the age of iRobot. We don't do really anything. Sweet or salty snacks?
Sweet.
Yeah. Least favorite task or least favorite admin task?
Bookkeeping. Or just, like, I mean, I have a CPA, but just, like, the touch points on, like, meh,
Right.
yeah.
I've learned I can't be 100%
Just, like,
hands off of that.
sorting the things. Yeah. It's
Worst. I agree.
bleh.
I'm right there with you. Cats, dogs, or plants?
Well, I somehow cannot keep a plant alive as much as I have tried. Uh, can't seem to do it. Dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs always.
If you could instantly simplify one thing for all photographers, what would it be?
Uh, Marketing. Just,
Marketing.
like, getting in front of the right people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could use some simplification because I haven't. So, what's one business task that you very weirdly enjoy?
Business task that I weirdly enjoy. Well, I love emailing. I love emailing people and, like, whether it's one-on-one or, like, newsletters, like, people get really hung up on newsletters, but my newsletter is my very favorite thing to write in my business. I write one every Wednesday night, and it's, like, the best marketing tool that I have, and my favorite thing to do in business is emailing.
Cool. Maybe I want to hear more about this
Yeah.
later. That's cool. Okay, what if you weren't a photographer? What would you be doing?
I'd be teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is fun because I get to do both kind of now. Yeah.
you do. Yeah, you
Yeah.
really do.
Mhm.
And you're not dealing with anybody's parents, so it's like a win-win. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. What's more powerful long term, consistency or simplicity?
Are they the same? Are I mean, I think in order to be consistent on anything, it has to be simple enough to keep up with.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Podcast host or podcast guest?
Well, that's not fair. No, I love hosting. I love being a podcast host, but I also love I don't know, I like both when the tables can it's a different kind of conversation.
It is. It
Yeah.
totally is. Yeah. Well, thank you. Tell everybody where they can find you, any resources you want to share, all that.
Sure. So you can find me on my podcast, the Photo Fuel podcast, leahoconnell.com/education, I guess, is going to get you to like the main, like all the things that you can find from me, whether that's the retreat or one-on-one mentoring. And I have some free resources too, just to like get you started. I have like something that's called the Big Picture Workbook, which is a free sort of like prompt guide to help you kind of get into that place where you understand a little bit more about your vision and the way that you want to show up for your business. So I think people find that really helpful when if you're in that sticking point where we've been talking about today of like, I don't know what's next, or how do I get out of this like grind place or whatever. Maybe that's a good next step for you.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. I love it. I'm always
Thanks,
so
Jill.
just I'm greedy and I just bring on people who can help me.
Yeah, same.
Love it. I guess I'll be seeing you in a few hours.
Yeah, how fun.
But thanks, Leah. I hope that you have a great day.
Thanks, Jill. Good to talk to you.
Bye.
So until next time, keep shooting, keep creating, and keep building the business that supports your dreams. Have a fantastic week. And remember, in the business of photography, your creativity is your biggest asset.